Ah, the Pokemon universe. A place most of us have become familiar with in our childhoods and gaming lives. The anime, the card game, the video games, and everything else in between. What's not to love about Pokemon? Countless adorable creatures with countless abilities and personalities. And it's up to us to work them to the bone to send them into battles that can only be described as legalized cockfighting. That's right, it's up to us to grind for countless hours to be the very best like no one ever was. Us. No one else. There's no one else who could take our place as the player. So why am I forced year after year to play as a 10-year-old child? Okay, I hear you. Pokemon is the story of a 10 to 12-year-old kid training to become the very best no one ever was, yada yada yada. It's like that in the anime, it's like that in the original games, and it continues to be like that. But a large majority of the Pokemon audience is anywhere from 17 to people in their late 20s. As the franchise grew and evolved, so did us the fans. So isn't it a no-brainer to let your fans choose the age look of their character? One counter-argument I've seen against this is, it wouldn't make sense for a 20 to 25-year-old to be living with their mom/parent. Okay? Says who? The amount of people still living with their general parental figure as young adults in their early 20s is massive. If that same argument is saying it wouldn't make sense narrative-wise, I disagree. The amount of young college students or individuals who take online courses while still living with a parent is extremely large. Besides, there's also a lot of narrative and gameplay opportunities here. Say you decide to make your character, 20 years old and specializing in Pokemon battle studies. Your character not only learns about Pokemon, but it's also a chance to give the experienced players a way to bypass having their hands held at the very beginning. This scenario solves two problems. 1. Gives a valid reason as to why a person who's just turned 20 is living with their mom. 2. Allows returning players to not be forced to hear information they already know. Besides, look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You attend a school that's essentially a massive college campus. Literally the perfect chance for your character to be older. They're a student studying Pokemon and have the gym challenge as a personal assignment to further their understanding in a hands-on way. That's all well and good, I hear you saying, but what about your rival? It would make no sense for a 20-year-old person to have a 10 to 12-year-old rival. Pokemon's recent track record of rivals hasn't been all that amazing. The reception to your rival being your best friend, or straight up hardly a rival, has been less than positive. However, I raise you this. Take a look at Leon and Hop from Pokemon Sword and Shield. An older brother and a younger brother. If you make your character a young adult who's just turned 20, what if your main rival is your younger brother who's just turned 10? Not only can Game Freak keep the rival a hopeful, upbeat person with minimal negative personality traits, but it further builds upon the scenario of the player being older. A younger brother and an older brother taking on the gym challenge, with the younger brother aspiring to learn as much as possible to make his older brother, the player, proud by trying to become the champion. This narrative idea opens a whole new possibility of storytelling in the Pokemon universe, and could make for a legitimately interesting plot. But let's take a step back and continue looking this from as many angles as possible. So let's say if the player makes the choice to be older, they don't have any younger siblings attempting the gym challenge. Who would your rival be? I think there's a myriad of possibilities to consider. If you choose to play as a younger individual, around 10 years old, you get the normal rival. If you choose to be older, around 20, it's the same rival but grown up in age to match the player's selected age. Some dialogue tweaks to make the rival sound more grown up is really all it would take, and Game Freak wouldn't have to change their intended narrative that much, if at all. Maybe your rival is your older sibling who got kicked out of the gym challenge when he was your age, but he was allowed to try it again. Maybe instead of any rival at all, it's you and 2 or 3 of your character's friends all taking on the challenge together. Who knows really, but I believe there is considerable opportunity here. Look, I'm just shouting into the void here. Nothing I say or do will ever change anything on its own. There's a massive number of reasons why making the player character older wouldn't work, but so too I believe there's an equally massive number of reasons why this could work. Ultimately, Nintendo aims their games at a younger audience. In regard to Pokemon, a vast majority of the audience has grown up. But here we are, still with the franchise because it holds such a special place in our hearts. Do you also wish you could make your player a little more suited to your actual age? Or do you think I'm an idiot who knows nothing about game design? Be sure to share any thoughts, opinions, and input you have on this topic in the comments below. I'd seriously love to hear what everyone thinks. And if you enjoyed this video and my content in general, be sure to join my Discord server. There's a link to it down below and it's a whole bunch of fun. But that's all I have for now, so I'm going to round things out here. If you're here wondering where my next Celeste video is, don't worry, it's coming. Until then, have a good day everyone.